how does one solve now these issues? Because the growing or the evolution is basically more digital. The books that, of course, the people at a particular age are able to order, or they have that conscious mind in buying those books, or they're buying it consciously. But if you see the new age world, I mean, they're all reading digitally, or they're trying to gather information digitally. Everything is through the mobile or maybe an iPad. With such growing disaster, how does one cope up this entire life? Because see, somewhere there's a brain that controls your behavior, the way you act, the way you talk to people, the way you feel about people. Everything is controlled from the central processing unit.
Of course.
And how does one take control on that? It's a big question for me till now.
The control of what? Of the brain?
Yeah, of the mind. That's basically, because now, see, I don't have the exercise of reading because it's not there. The evolution is actually moving digitally. The new age, the Gen Z boys or the Gen Z kids are basically going to read digitally. And they are going to be distracted with a lot of notifications.
And very short reading. They are not able to read like more than one page.
Now with this growing disaster, how does one take control still of their actions, of the way they conduct themselves or the way they behave?
Well, what usually we have to look at nature to see what happens every time we are on the. So every time we are on the
this pandemic
of something. Of an imbalance on the way we live, something happens. So
it's a mental pandemic.
It's a mental pandemic, but I mean, we can do changes. We can actually do changes, but it seems that there is no interest in doing these changes. It seems that there is on the eastern, because we have 1% of the entire world wealth, richness. It's controlled by 1% of the population. They control 99%. 1% controls 99% of the
correct
data. And we have the 99% that controls 1%.
Correct.
So we have 1% of the population controlling 99% of the world's health. So do you think it's for their interest to people to start thinking?
I got what you're saying.
So maybe this is interesting for to keep people without critical thinking, because if you look at the 60s, we had revolutions of in the 20s, in the 60s. Then the people start to get close into their phones, their lives. This mixed identity between what they are and what is their Instagram account.
Wow, this is a touching point.
So this is something that interests them, this virtual world that they are living.
It's an identity crisis, you could say?
Yeah, it's an identity crisis. People are, when they talk about zombies, we are already living in a world of zombies. You get out of here, you go. The other day I was just sitting, waiting for the gas, to my car to put gas in my car. And I was watching around, I like to watch around. And everybody was with the head. Even the guy that was putting gas was with, putting like, everybody was, everybody. So it seems like those films from the 50s, the black and white, where everybody's controlled like zombies. And this is what we're living now. People are being controlled. They are having information from their phones that are shoot information and controlled information, and they shoot the information. We have reading books gives us the opportunity to shoot our own information. We put it and we consume it, and we do our critical thinking about what we read. People don't read; they just receive information. You can put whatever you want. Look, we are making wars just on perceptions. If you look at, for example, Fox News, it gives you an idea that the Ukrainians are the bad guys. They are trafficking their weapons that the Americans they gave them, and all of this narrative. If you go to CNN, CBS, no, the Russians are the bad guys.
Correct.
So we are living on a world of perception. People really don't like to think. If they are fed with this dopamine that we are giving them, it's okay. If we have the kids, with this ADHD, this or that, it's okay. They are under anesthesia.
Hmm.
So if nobody is thinking...
Again, so it means further, now, I mean, And adding to this, inappropriate sleeping habits are further aggravating this, you could say.
Sleeping habits, they are a repercussion of this. So for sure, we see that kids have less quality of sleep. Even adults, they are all taking medication to sleep.
So what's the ideal time someone should rest his body and put his brain to shut down?
It's the truth is that your brain just needs 3 hours of rest.
Okay.
Your brain, but your body needs more.
Okay.
So the brain in 3 hours, it relaxes. It will be recovered. The cleansing of the brain by the dendrite cells, it will happen. But our body needs more. So what we feel is not our mind tired, but it's our body. But because our body gives a sensation of tiredness, we think our brain is not working properly, but it's the body. So basically, 6 hours is the minimum time for our body to rest.